Sometimes the bravest thing you will ever do is let go of someone you thought you couldn't live without. 3 years ago, I was holding onto a relationship so tightly my knuckles were white. I convinced myself that holding on was a sign of strength and loyalty. No one ever told me that sometimes the most powerful act of love is opening your hands and setting both of you free. Today, I want to share what I wish someone had told me about the art of letting go, not just of relationships, but of the stories we tell ourselves about what those relationships mean about us. We are taught from childhood that love means never giving up, that loyalty means staying no matter what, that relationships that end are failures. What if I told you that these beliefs are the very things that keep us trapped in connection that have served their purpose? The hardest truth I had to face was this. Sometimes, two good people can love each other deeply and still not be right for each other's growth. The relationship I couldn't let go of wasn't terrible. There was no dramatic betrayal, no clear villain, and that made it harder. We were two people who had outgrown each other but were terrified of the space that would exist without one another. My awakening came in the most unexpected way. I was scrolling through old photos one night and I realized something that stopped me cold. I couldn't remember the last time I felt fully myself in that relationship. It wasn't that I was being someone else, it was subtler than that. I had slowly, unconsciously made myself smaller, quieter, less dream focused, less ambitious, less me. And in that moment, I understood what letting go really means. It isn't about rejecting the other person, it's about honoring who both of you are becoming. There are three truths about letting go that changed everything for me. I call them the letting go paradoxes. Paradox 1. Letting go feels like failure but is actually courage. When I finally ended things, my mind immediately labeled it as failure. You gave up, it whispered. But with time, I recognized the incredible courage it takes to release something familiar for the unknown. Paradox 2. Letting go feels like loss but is actually gain. At first, I only felt what was I losing. But as week passed, I began to notice what was returning to me. My energy, my creativity, my full laugh, parts of myself that I hadn't even realized had gone quiet. Paradox 3. Letting go feels like giving up on someone else but is actually standing up for yourself. The guilt was overwhelming. Was I abandoning someone who needed me? Eventually, I understood. Continuing to stay when my soul was calling me elsewhere wasn't doing either for us any favor. These paradoxes exist because our brain are wired to avoid pain, even when the pain is temporary and necessary for growth. So, how do you actually let go when every part of you wants to hold on? I developed a 4-step process that transformed everything. Step 1. The honest inventory. I wrote down exactly what the relationship was adding to my life and what it was taking away. Not the promises or potential, the actual day to day reality. Step 2. The permission ritual. This was powerful. I wrote a letter giving myself permission to prioritize my growth, even if it meant disappointing to someone else. I literally wrote, my name, give myself permission to choose my own evolution. Step 3. The gratitude release. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, I wrote down everything I was grateful for from that relationship and what it taught me. This shifted me from resentment to appreciation. Step 4. The future self connection. I wrote a letter from my future self, 1 year after letting go, describing how life had unfolded. This created hope and vision when I couldn't see beyond the pain. The key to this process isn't rushing. I spent a week on each step, allowing myself to fully feel everything that came up. I won't sugarcoat it. Letting go was still one of the hardest things I've ever done. The first month felt like withdrawal. I questioned my decision daily. I reached for my phone to text them hundreds of times. But slowly, almost imperceptibly, at first space opened up inside me. Space for new dreams, new connections, new version of myself I couldn't have imagined before. 6 months later, I ran into them, and something miraculous happened. Instead of the pain or awkwardness I expected, I felt genuine warmth and gratitude. We had both grown in ways that wouldn't have been possible if we had stayed together. That's when I realized letting go isn't the end of love, sometimes it's the ultimate expression of it. Before I wrap up, I want to share 5 signs that it might be the time to consider letting go of your relationship, whether romantic, friendship, or even family. Your authentic self feels like it needs permission to exist. You constantly explain away behavior that hurts you. Growth in other areas of your life creates tension in the relationship. You have had the same unresolved issues for more than a year. Your gut has been quietly trying to tell you something your heart doesn't allow to hear. These signs don't automatically mean that you should end things, but they do mean it's time for honest reflection. If you are in the process of letting go right now, I want you to hear this. What feels like an ending today is actually a beginning in disguise. Your capacity to release what no longer serves you is directly connected to your ability to receive what truly will. The space created by letting go isn't empty for long. It fills with possibilities you couldn't see when your hands were full of yesterday. In the comments, share one thing you have let go of that created a space for something better. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. If this resonated with you, please give it a like, subscribe for more soul conversation, and share it with someone who might be struggling to open their hands right now. Remember, letting go isn't giving up, it's growing up. Thank you for watching.